Hello and welcome to the third episode of my Eternal Deck Tech plus Gameplay series, in which I take a throne deck that I enjoy and I show off the deck list, explain my card choices, talk about potential alternatives, especially budget alternatives, and then show how the deck works in action by playing a few games on ladder. As always, you can find the Eternal Warcry link for the deck list in the description below. Today I'm bringing FTS Kalis, which is a token themed deck built around Bloodrite Kalis, a set 1 relic weapon that sacrifices all of your units on summon and then gets +2/+2 for each unit sacrificed. That means you want a lot of token generators like Twisted Farmer, Granite Drone or Display of Destruction, and you don't really want expensive big units because you have to sacrifice them anyway. I hadn't played Throne in a while, which meant I had to climb up from Bronze to Gold right now. And I only played this deck for the climb and had about an 80% win rate, so it made for a pretty fast climb. But I wouldn't put too much weight on it because a lot of the decks I played against were pretty questionable. I'd still say this deck is decent, not a top tier contender, but you can definitely climb with it. And it's a lot of fun to play because it basically plays kind of differently every game. And you have a lot of decision making because most of the times you have like 100 of different ways you could line up your curve. You could play out your cards. So you really have to think, which is like also one of the downsides. If you mess up, it will cost you the game often. The deck also has struggled with board wipes like Trail Scourge or End of an Era. Normal board wipes like Harsh Rule are usually not that bad because you have like a lot of cards that do something when they die or that you have ways to get them back from the void. But things like Scourge or End of an Era are annoying because they either get the opponent some card advantage or tempo, or in the case of Scourge, they put the cards back into your deck so they don't get their death triggers and you can't get them back from the void. The other thing the deck can struggle against are things like Law Mage, who shuts down your token generators because you can only play one unit per turn, and Suppressor, who shuts down most of your good effects because most of them are summon effects, like Kalis, for example, most importantly, but also Supplier, Smuggler, Kato, Power Cell, and Granite Drone. And the third thing that I wouldn't say is like unbeatable, but can be tough to beat because you can't outgrind it, is Control with cards like Omniscience. You can draw a lot of cards with this deck between like Kindling Carver, Supplier, and Dova, but you usually can't outdraw Omniscience. They can just draw like 4 or 5 cards every turn and play out a bunch of stuff and like also answer the value engines you have, and then you just get outgrinded. The other thing that is hard to outgrind is Dichos Ruin Control. If they get a setup early with like Ruin and ways to make your cards more expensive and so on, then it's difficult to outgrind them. That's one of the main reasons for why I added Rapid Development to the market. If the opponent like plays a bunch of stuff like Ruin or Omniscience that doesn't really affect the board and just gives them long-term value, you can try to out-aggro them by just playing a bunch of cheap tokens early on. And then you play like you Crack the Earth or Smuggler, get development and attack for like a bunch and hope you win that way. One really cool way to do it is with Twisted Farmer. Let's say it's turn 5. You already have like 2 or 3 units on board and like the opponent plays like their Omniscience. You play Twisted Farmer, get 2 more tokens for 4 power. Then play Crack the Earth for the last power, get development, and then you have like 6 or 7 units on board and all of them get +3/+3 this turn because Farmer has 3 life. And that's usually enough unless the opponent has like a lot of units on their own. But at least it deals like a ton of damage to them. The other stuff in the market is for aggro, Marsh Dragon, and generally just value and tempo, Machinations. Machinations is definitely not replaceable. Marsh Dragons I wouldn't replace because aggro isn't like the greatest matchup. Like it's definitely beatable even without Marsh Dragon, but it helps to have something like Marsh Dragon in there, and he can also be decent against other decks. The flex spot I would say is Dova. He can help to outgrind other mid-range decks, especially with Twisted Farmer. You play Twisted Farmer, get a bunch of Mandrakes. On the next turn you play Dova, the Mandrake sacrifice himself, and you get to draw a card for each Mandrake. But he's also just like decent in general. There's like a lot of synergy with Dova here. But if you want to try something else, or like if you want to save the Shift Stone, you can look at cards like Induce Madness, which wouldn't save Shift Stone, but is a possible replacement. Because it's really, really good with Twisted Farmer again. If you sacrifice your Mandrakes, your opponent has to sacrifice probably the whole board. And it's really good with Kalis, because if you sacrifice your whole board for Kalis, your opponent has to sacrifice the same amount of units. Another thing that you can try out is just Scene in Temple. It's a decent side, which can be a win condition in this deck with Marsh Dragon. You like up into the late game, you have like 15 units in Void, you do Marsh Dragon, sacrifice the unit, he gets up to 16 health, and your next market grab is Scene in Temple, you play it, and then play Scare on Marsh Dragon to make him like 16 attack or even more. And it's just like a decent value side in general. You could also play Viad's Junkyard. Another decent value side with a lot of like +1 effects. And most importantly, a way to get back your Kalis with Smuggler's Stash. You can just return Kalis. It keeps the stats it already gained from like the last time you played it. So you can like grow Kalis even more. The downside is just that Junkyard is not enough, same for Temple, is not enough to outgrind like Omniscience or Dichros Ruin decks. And it's too slow against like aggressive decks, which is the main reason why I'm not playing them right now. They just don't really help with anything but mid-range, and I think Dova is a little bit better there. Which is debatable, you can definitely try the sides, but I like Dova a little bit more right now. Those are like the main things I think you could try instead. I guess you could just play a Cobra, but like I said, most Relic decks right now have Face Eaters, and you don't have good ways to pop Face Eaters, so Cobra isn't that great here. And you could just play something like Wasp, but I wouldn't really do it. I don't think it is like better than the Dova here or one of the sides. For other budget replacements, there isn't actually a lot that you have to replace if you're on a budget, because this deck is already very budget friendly. The only other legendary next to Dova is Kato, which is admittedly very difficult to replace here. You can just play something like Nahid's Choice instead, which also gives you like 2 tokens, has a like potential second effect if you ever think you really need to look into the opponent's hand. And it also plays Cultist, which means you can trigger Arc of Soul with it. But it's still a lot worse than Kato here, because this deck is very, very good at filling up your Void with units. And that means Kato will be a very strong power play in the later turns. And you can get back Kato with Arrowmoth's Machinations, which you can't really do with Nahid's Choice. So Kato is like tough to replace. I think if you don't have like the ways to get Kato, don't have enough Shift Zone for it, or don't already have him, I wouldn't really recommend the deck right now. The only campaign card in this deck is Aurelian Supplier, which is also tough to replace, but a bit easier. Like you can play another free drop, for example Red King, which is additional removal, not very good removal, but it can help. And which is what is very nice about Red King is that he is 3 units in one that you can bring back with Machinations. So you play him, get 3 units, sacrifice all of them for Kalis, and then bring him back with Machinations, get another 3 units for future Kalis. The Double Shadow is a little bit awkward, but usually you don't have that many influence problems in this deck. And the other stuff you could play instead of Aurelian Supplier is like more copies of Avendoon Smuggler. Right now I'm only playing 2. And you could theoretically also play like East Annex Smuggler if you want to. Can't get Marsh Dragon, but it can get all the other cards in here. But if you have Aurelian Supplier, I would definitely play him over those cards. And he's part of the best campaign anyway, because he's part of the famous campaign Shadow of the Spire, which has like a ton of good cards, like Check, Mother of Skies, Silverblade Intrusion, Silverblade Menace, Open Contract are all great cards, so it's like the best campaign to get anyway. Okay, with all that said, I think those are like the main synergies you have to keep in mind with the deck. With all that said, let's just hop into some games to show how it works in action. As a side note, this is already the second recording because the first recording was sadly unusable because the audio was completely destroyed. The first recording went pretty well. I got to show off like all the things the deck wants to do. I even got to show off how hard you get punished for misplays because I lost the game because I misplayed very, very badly. Let's hope we get like another round of nice games here. Descent is not crazy good, but it's also far from bad. We can play turn 2 Power Cell, turn 3 Blade Grafter with the Power Burst to get a Kalis, and then go from there. What I really like to see here are some token generators, like Display or Twisted Farmer. That would be great here. Turn to Dinosaur Nest, that's pretty strong. Wobrek's choice is not bad. Means we can revive a Kalis. One thing we could do next turn, depending on what the opponent does of course, is we could play Kava, sacrifice the Blade Grafter, and then play the Kalis and still get a 6/6 weapon. But it very much depends on what the opponent does and what I draw. Like, it's not the greatest play ever, but if we don't draw anything good, we might do that. Okay, I'm very fine with that. Oh, that is nice. We might just go for an 8/8 Kalis here. Yeah, I kind of want to do that. We attack first. They probably won't block here. Get some extra damage in. And the nice thing is this Shade will stay a turn, so we can sacrifice it for cover next turn. Let's kill the Herbasaur. It looks like they're playing like dinosaur tribal deck, so I want to kill the card that makes all the dinosaurs cheaper, of course. And now we get to eat like one dinosaur every turn, which is pretty nice. We have to kill them fast because they're all gonna get very scary once the dinosaur nest is done. Okay, let's start here with Kava. That's actually annoying because it doesn't really do anything here. Because they have face eaches. Otherwise it would be good. But I don't have a weapon to redraw. I mean, we still play it because otherwise we just discard it. But it's definitely not the best draw here. I would have wished for... Do they actually think about negating that? Oh, I'm very fine with that. I'm insanely fine with that. It's basically a useless negate from them, to be honest. Because that means this one has a higher chance of going through now. Okay, yeah, that's the thing, I guess. It's really weird. I already ran into like a bunch of weird main deck relic removals when I recorded this video for the first time. It's like, I mean, I kind of get it because Omniscience and like Creation Project are really good and played very, very highly, but it's still a lot of weird like main deck relic removal right now. Oh man, those straws are so bad. I really need market access. That's like the main thing I need right now. Because I want the machinations here. Machinations is only okay though. Another Silex as well. Wow. Yeah, this is gonna be a tough game. I guess if they don't play another unit here, it might be okay, because like they get an additional draw with Winter Crown here, but next turn we kill this, and then they don't get a draw and don't have like anything big on board. It does suck a little bit to take the damage from the WoW here, but I really want a second time in the future for Dova or development. I think the best draw we could ask for here is either Aurelian Supplier for card draw or Abandon Smuggler, because it's market access and also a free drop for Machinations. Those are like the two main things I want to see here. What do they play that's hidden? Actually, not really sure. 5 cost hidden card in. I think we just go for that. On the flip side, if I kill this, I might be able to jump block this with Kato. Because I don't want to give them more draws with Winter Crown. I'm a little bit afraid, but I'm actually not sure what's like the really bad thing. It's a Carnosaur, right? The one that it gives killer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Carnosaur. In which case, I think it's actually better to just kill this. And to play Kato and to just like jump block the Carnosaur. Yeah, I'm pretty confident it's Carnosaur. 1 power fast spell. Are they playing Crack the Earth? Forget. Main deck forget, okay. That's fine, I guess. Yeah, it's a Carnosaur, okay. Ooh, that's annoying. We're actually in a really bad spot here, not gonna lie. Now Supplier isn't even that good. Yeah, turn to Dinosaur Nest is rough if you just don't draw very well. Yeah, those are all bad cards. I don't think we can win this one. Maybe I should have just kept the units and take the damage, but then I'm going down a lot, I get to draw another card. I think we just kinda stall and hope for exactly Abandon Smuggler here. Something like Twisted Farmer could also help, because we can jump block with the Mandrakes and still have units on board after. But we need really, really good top decks here to have a shot. Oh yeah, we need insane top decks here to have a shot. Okay, we are out. That was not a great draw here. There's an argument for not sacrificing the Carver earlier to have like card draw lying around, but I also didn't have a lot of sacrifice for this game, I just didn't draw a lot of it. So I don't think that would have changed too much. Yeah, the hand is not great. Just don't do a lot. This hand would be so much better if we went first. Both Supplier and Crack the Earth are a lot better if you go first. We can get rid of a painting here. We don't want 3 of them anyway. People are really high on their relic removal right now. But like that's the thing. Going second Crack the Earth is just so much worse because we can't get a good bargain here now. If we went first, they might not have had a blocker here. And we could like get the Arc of Soul. Now we can't do that. Is there a world where we block this? I don't think so. We just take the 4. Next turn could be Patrice already, which is scary. What else do we want here? Maybe we do want development, but it seems like very aggressive. We also don't have a second time right now. Yeah, I think we still take it. We definitely don't supply it. We just attack, they probably let it through, and then we get the power, get the second time. We're not in a great spot here. The opponent had a good curve, and we went second with a hand that really wants to go first. Okay, no big power play at least. That's kind of nice. what's our plan here? I think we just do Kato for now and like keep this up. Kato can block the 4-2. And if they attack with like the initiate for some reason, we can block that as well. With one of the Minotaurs. Okay. Yeah, it's just block with Kato here. We're not in the greatest spot, but it's not completely hopeless either. As long as they don't draw like one of the huge power plays like Kairos or Patrice or Wasp. We can also draw one with Supplier next turn if they don't play another unit here. Actually, one unit is fine, right? Do this. Oh, actually, I actually liked the silence Kato Shade because now he doesn't kill itself. And I don't think I would have used Kato's ability next turn, so it's actually an upset for us. We're gonna draw one here. Okay, power is actually good. We throw away the Supplier here. We just like block with Supplier definitely. To have it for Machinations next turn. We don't have to throw away, yeah. We do this. Get rid of development again. I don't think we win with development in the near future. We get Marshdrake because we might need the life. Actually, let's block. Technically, it's better to block the 4-5 here because that means we keep a unit. But I really want to make sure the Supplier dies because if they're like smart, they might let me keep the Supplier and then I don't have a good Machinations next turn. I really want the Machinations right now. Actually, do we? How did I think about it? Wait. We get 4 units with Kato, so we get to draw with Supplier. Yeah, let's Machinations. That's correct. It makes sense. Kato and Supplier. And Kato triggers first, gets the unit, and that means we have more units than the opponent. Yeah, right. And I think we just keep back for now. I don't want to take much more damage right now. And now we're getting close to a spot where development is really good again. Because Marsh Dragon will have a bunch of life, which means development will give a bunch of attack stats to everything. Which might make it worth to just play it here. To like threaten a fast lethal in the future. Like do Marsh Dragon. Yeah, actually we will go aggressive. We just play Marsh Dragon here. Next turn we can do Twisted Farmer for like 3 units. Crack the Earth for 1 more unit. Get development and just attack for 1 million. Yeah, I like that. And it might not be lethal, but it at least forces them to like jump block with everything here. Unless they have development themselves, then we play it more grindy and go like Twisted Farmer to jump block. Yeah, they go development themselves. Okay, then we go Twisted Farmer to jump block here. Although we can actually do the math. Let's do the math here. If we do Twisted Farmer for 2, we jump block 4 units. I need to block with 5 units here. How much damage do I have in the backswing? I need 7, that's 10. 10. Nah, I think we have to jump for now. Yeah, let's go for value jumps then. Block here, block here, block here, block here, and then I still need to block one of the overwhelmed things to survive. I guess it might be... Actually, we can just kill one of them here. So this is blocked, this is blocked, this is blocked, this is blocked, okay. Of course, I would have preferred him to not have development here, because then we would have had lethal, I think, or at least basically lethal. But this is still okay, actually. Now that their development is out, and like their board isn't actually that good now. And we can do... We can play like 4 units here. If you want to. Actually, I shouldn't have played the power cell here, I think. I could still crack the earth, get development. I think we played slower here now. The Kalis might just be market fodder here. It's not a great spot to play Kalis in right now. I think the way to win this game now is development. Does he go after the Mars Drake? Oh, no. I could have. Interesting. Oh, that's a very good way to win with development. We're just gonna play this, which means we have 3, 6, 7, 10, 11 units on board, and they all have like at least 8 attack. 4 of them have to hit, so right now we would have lethal basically. So it depends what they do next turn. Right now I have lethal. If they play 1 more unit, we don't have lethal, but I basically have to block with like everything. Ah, it's Patrice deck. Okay, makes sense. Ah, that's annoying. 2 more units is annoying. Makes it way less likely that we get a lethal here. I guess... Ah, they're not gonna block with everything though. I guess we still get it. But it's just not gonna be lethal. It's 11 units. They have to block 8 of them, at least. Which means they still gonna have 1 unit left at the end. Which is kind of fine, right? Like, I guess if they leave Patrice up, it's kind of annoying though. We just go for it and hope they misplay. I think we're losing this game if I wait here. Because they have like a bunch of value with Patrice now. Wait, Kato has Overwhelm. Okay. And they just let Kato through, they let the Mars Drake through. Wait, they only have 2. Yeah, I think we're definitely dead. As long as they don't, if they don't misplay, we're definitely dead next turn. But we have to try it. Maybe they like mess it up at some point. I'm pretty sure the card they got from the market is like Kairos. And we definitely lose to Kairos if we wait here. So we have to try to go for it and hope they misplay somehow. But they have like a bunch of time to think about it, so it seems unlikely. Yeah, they get to keep Patrice here. And unless they have like nothing good, we're probably dead here. Wait, one nice thing we can actually do here is we... Actually, does it work? How much space do we have on board? I think it should work. Oh wait, I died. Did I do the math wrong? Or did it just concede? I would take it anyway. What I could have done now is play Carver and sacrifice the Blade Crafter to have 2 blockers on the board. That way, even if they have like a Kairos from hand with charge because of Patrice, we can block both units and next turn just attack them for game. So we were still like, even if they like had enough and had like good follow-up, we would still have had a chance here. That was a very close game. A very, very close game. And like a good showcase of why development is kind of important in this deck, because otherwise I think it's tough to win this matchup. I guess one card that can also do it is like Induce Madness, because you can induce Madness and they play Kalis, and then the opponent has to sacrifice all their board and you just take 4 million damage with Kalis. But I think development wins more games than Induce Madness does. This is a little bit awkward, but it's barely good enough that I want to not go down to 6 cards here against my 150 card deck opponent. Okay, that's very good. That makes this hand a lot better already. Now we can play Bladecrafter next turn if we want to, but we probably just play Power Cell. Okay. Maybe some Dechos Ruin shenanigans, but I'm not sure why we're playing 150 cards then. Market access would be nice here, because we have like a lot of cards that we don't really need in hand right now. The second card is usually not that great, which is an argument for cutting Bladecrafter down to like 2 copies. You could try less copies of Bladecrafter and instead play an additional copies of Abaddon Smuggler, for example. That's fine, that's fine. Permafrost is actually kind of nice for us because we can still sacrifice the unit. I don't think we can get below their hand size. Like we play power, this. I guess then we get a draw. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Might be a throwaway of the power burst, but as long as we draw like something, it's worth it. That's something. Yeah, I think we go for that. Only 1 draw this time, but it's okay. Now Market Access is a really, really good top deck because we have 1, 2, 3 for Aramod's Machinations. And we get even more cards into our void. Love to see it. Okay, take it. I think we just go for a small Kalis here. I don't want to play Kato before because I want to keep the Shade around, I think. And I don't want to play Kava before because I want to keep Kava around. Kava is just kind of the heart and soul of the deck. Just turns a lot of cards into potential insane value. And the 6/6 Kalis is fine here, we don't need more. We have a second one anyway. Okay. Trail stories. What are we doing with trail stories? Let's rounds plus cover here. Start drawing some cards. Do we play card rear is the question. I actually think we wait. Okay. Kinda cool. And actually it doesn't work on Unleash anymore, right? Yeah, I wanted to say Trail Stories with Unleash. It was kinda cool for like a little bit before the nerf to Unleash. Could do funny things like unleash a Soulfire, reduce the cost of a Soulfire with Trail Stories and Tayama, and then have like 0 cost Soulfires, and like all of the copies were 0 cost as well. But that doesn't work anymore, of course. How did I kill my cover? Second execution bit, okay. Yeah, it looks like they're just playing some kind of weird control deck. A lot of removal, card draw, and all that stuff. I really just want to draw market access here. Okay, nice. Couldn't find an out to Kalis. Okay, let's try at least one more game, maybe even more. Let's see how this one goes. Crack the earth with undefeated time is always great if you go first. Unless the opponent has like a strong one drop. Like even if they have like an initiate of sense, they probably don't want to block with it. So like you have a decent chance of getting a free power with it. We definitely get rid of a power here. We have enough already for now. And we grab ourselves. That's a good question here. Like right now nothing of this is good. So the question is will Dova or Machinations be better in the future? And let's pick a Dova. Machinations is kind of risky if they like Praxis mid-range, because if they have a Scourge, we're just not gonna get a good Machinations. We need, I guess, second Shadow. This can be the second time. Right now this hand is kind of missing Power Blaze. Yeah, this does not help. Opponent is on at least 4 factions. Interesting. Question is if they are control or like some kind of creation project mid-range pile. I feel like this power base is... Ah, yeah, okay. Beacon of Reach control pile. That might be tough to outgrind. Especially if they play like a lot of board wipes. Ooh, Smuggler. I guess we can get rid of the Voprex choice here easily. And then we might just pick Machinations. Technically we could try to set up like a 2-turn lethal with play Dova here, next turn Smuggler for development and then kill them. But it feels a little bit too risky into board wipes. Pretty confident they play like a decent amount of board wipes. One thing we could just do here, wait, Smuggler development, how much damage is that? They have to block this one, so it's like 3, 7, 10, 13 damage. It feels really bad to pass now. I think we just choice and like keep the small beat aggro up for now. That is an insane draw. Could not have asked for a better card here. What I could have asked for is an additional power draw here. If I draw a power here, it's even better. But it's still a very nice draw. I think we wait on the Granite and Throne here. It feels a little bit too risky at this point. Like, this is already plenty enough for them to board wipe. And if they don't have a board wipe, then this is also good enough to pressure. Okay. Ooh. Farmer. Smuggler. Ah, let's just apply, yeah. Okay, power. That's great. That's great. If they don't have a board wipe now, we can just drop the Smuggler, get development, and win the game. We don't need more influence. We also have like access to Kalis now, which is nice. I have my choice, right? Yeah, that's fine. We do have lethal here, right? Yeah, we do have lethal. Does not matter. Grab development. Okay. Yeah, if they have a board wipe, this game goes a lot differently, but I try to play around it as well as possible, while still keeping the pressure up to build up to a development lethal. And maybe could have taken a little bit more risks and like play more into that lethal, but I think that was a decent way to play it. Let's say it like that. Okay. How long are we in? 40 minutes. I guess we can do like one last game. That is very bad. Very bad. This is okay. It's not the greatest hand of all time, but it's okay. We do have a lot of sacrifice fodder and we have access to Kalis. And the power base is decent. Not crazy, but decent. That makes this hand a lot better, actually. I think we start with end of turn rounds. Okay, exploit. They have to go for supplier here, right? I kind of hope they are like really afraid of Bladecrafter and get rid of that. Because I think I actually prefer having supplier over Bladecrafter here. Yeah, they have to get rid of that. One question is if they play like... How many board wipes do they play? That's the question here, basically. If they play Know Their Enemy, we might struggle with that. That's fine. And do they play Nothing Remains is the other question, which is also really good against me. Because if they don't, we might just go for like... Be able to go for like a very big Kalis push soon. If they have a Nothing Remains here, we still keep the Shades. Ah, of course they have, yeah. We might just go for like Kalis for like... Yeah, let's go for like 6/6 Kalis here. It's not crazy, but we take it. Archenboard usually has problems dealing with relic weapons unless they play exactly Monocloak in the main deck. Board wipes are... What? I don't... Why are people playing the weirdest relic removal of all time, like right now? Like, why is someone playing Disrupt in the main deck, man? I just don't get it, to be honest. I really don't get it. I mean, it got me good here, right? But even if you're afraid of like Omniscience, I would just play more hand discard, I think, in this deck. And stuff like Vara to get face sieges off. I don't know. That's, I guess, one additional downside of this deck. People are really just playing the wildest relic removal you've ever seen right now in the main deck. Is it worth? I think it's actually worth attacking here. They gain 2 life, but we also deal 2 damage, and we get another power with Arc of Soul. And I want to get stuff into the void anyway for Kato. Okay. That's kind of fine at this point. I guess we are Kato aggro at this point. We just hope they don't have... If they play Eavesdrop, we're dead here. We're definitely dead to Eavesdrop here. This is fine. We definitely block because I want a 12 unit in void. And I think we just played double card over here. If they board wipe, we can just like get 2 additional 8/8s next turn, and if they don't board wipe, we just win. That's kind of the idea here. If they play, okay, here, what is called? There's like this weird 3-mana card that kills all units played this turn and gives them vote bind. That would have killed me here, but I don't think anyone is playing that. Yeah, let's just do another group of 8/8s here. That's the nice thing about Kato. You can just force like 3 removal spells on his own or double board wipe. Nice. Very nice. That's fine. I think we do Bladecrafter this turn. Because right now I don't have a lot of ways to use the tokens from Farmer. I have like 1 Carver, but I think it's better to have a Kalis in hand and then do Farmer. This is definitely a grind game now, so we want to get like the most value possible out of every card. Which we basically already did. We like forced them to use double removal on everything right now. Another relic removal, okay. Let's start with Carver. Oh, that's actually great. Because we can get back our 6/6. Wait, is it just lethal? Yeah, that's just lethal, right? Ah, no, it's not. It's not lethal, but it's still good. Get additional value here. I think we do Power Burst here for additional power and Farmer. It gets a little bit punished if they have Exploit, but if they only have Exploit here, we still win. So I think it's fine to play line that loses to Exploit because we still win if they have Exploit. They would need to have Exploit plus board wipe basically. Which seems unlikely because they didn't play a board wipe last turn. That's fine, they can get Alchemist back, I guess. Yeah. But I don't think there's any draw that's good enough to save them here. Yeah. I think we still win through that. Maybe not win, but we can set up a winning position against that. Let's say it like that. Ooh, that's actually nice. And right now they know that they have a Kalis, so they might not block with both units. But actually I think we don't cover here with just a space. They're probably gonna eat a 1/1 with the 2/2 and just jump block the 8/8. Because they really don't want to be without a unit here. And then we just Vobrek's choice and Kalis and win the game, right? Pretty sure that's how it works out here. They go up to 18, but they take 5 damage here, and then the Kalis is enough, yeah. Kalis gets up to 16/16, and that's enough damage for game. Nice. Don't die game. Okay. Nice. Got a nice win as a finish, despite them having like multiple board wipes and exploits at the right point. I think that was a pretty good showcase of the deck. You've seen the aggro games where you kind of have to be aggressive and go for like development and stuff. You've seen the games against aggressive starts where you have to get like Marsh Drag and stuff. And you've seen some grindy games where you try to get like the most value out of every card basically. Those are like the different modes of the deck, which is one of the big things I like about it. It's very adaptable. It doesn't play the same every game. And you have a lot of decision making every game. You can go for multiple different lines every time. Okay, that's it for today. The probably the last video, not probably, it's definitely the last video from me for this year. I'm definitely gonna do gameplay and deck tech videos once a month continuously next year again. What I'm not sure about is how many history videos I will continue to do, because those take a lot more time than the deck tech and gameplay videos. For this one, I only need I need to have a deck ready, play a few games beforehand, make some notes, and then I can record. The history videos usually take like upwards of 10 hours per video. So it might be only doing like one every 2 months from now on. But I still try to do them occasionally because I really enjoy doing them. And it seems like most of you guys enjoy it as well. That's it for the schedule for next year. Nice holidays, everyone. Have a nice Rutsch ins neue Jahr, as we say in Germany. Goodbye.